What did you pay for that punch and die set? My guess is plenty. Press brake tooling is not by any stretch of the imagination inexpensive. Okay, so that's not news, is it? So what are operators on the floor doing with your investment? Are they getting the most from it? What are your policies toward dedicated tooling? Have you made the decision that dedicated tooling is a worthwhile adventure? If so, have you really thought the entire concept through? What are the costs? Is this really the best option for your press brake department? Will it add or take away from my bottom line? Hopefully, we can shine a little light on the concept of dedicated press brake tooling and the reality of what it means and what it is that you hope to accomplish through its use. Regardless of manufacturer, a press brake by definition is a machine that is designed for straight line bending in a sheet metal or plate part. A machine using universal tooling to bend straight lines. In other words, short of using stamping press hard tooling, compound radii and curves along an axis of a bend are not possible. Even though it is somewhat common to find a stamping press tool in a press brake, the press brake itself is pretty much used exclusively to make straight line bends. Modern precision press brake tooling comes in either full lengths of 32.87 inches, 834 millimeters, or sectionalized sets of the same overall length. Sectionalized tooling is cut into predetermined lengths, making the assembly of just about any length of punch or die possible. Because of this kind of versatility, it is rare to need to cut a tool to length. It is fair to note that the last statement isn't 100% true. There will always be exceptions to every rule. All too often, sheet metal shops, especially those that are practicing some form of lean manufacturing, go to extremes, taking multi-purpose press brake tooling and enshrining them in labeled boxes, taking them out only when that particular part is to be made. So what is wrong with this picture? Before we think this idea of dedicated tooling all the way through, think back a couple of paragraphs to the statement that said, there will always be exceptions. Machined, modified, or somehow customized. That is true. It will be necessary to store some tools in their own dedicated boxes. But this should be the exception and not the rule. As I have already stated, that because of the way tools are designed, almost every possible tool can be pieced together from these full or sectionalized sets. Take a few pieces of these tools and enshrine them in boxes. Now what do you have? Not enough tooling. The daily reality becomes not having enough press brake tooling to complete other jobs. Your products are on hold, and your operators are standing around trying to figure out how to build the next part. Why? Because there's not enough tooling. Of course, purchasing more tooling is always an option, but is that where you want your money to go? It means tying up company profits in excess tooling, while the dedicated tooling collects dust in a box. Not only have you removed perfectly good tooling from circulation and from being used on multiple projects, you also have to carry the cost of more storage racks and the loss of floor space. And for what? For all that occasionally used press brake tooling? Open your mind and your boxes. It also accomplishes nothing to segregate tooling by material type being formed, bottom bending accepted. For example, that tooling is for steel only, it can't be used on aluminum, is not a true statement. Okay, in a few cases that might be true, but like the boxed up dedicated tooling, It should be the exception and not the rule. It's the way the tools are used that makes the difference. Not only can you airform, bottom bend, and coin with the same set of tools, you can also form various material types, each with different amounts of springback, forming with punch and V-dice combinations that at first you might not think would work. It's all about how these tools are applied to the task at hand. Understanding of the processes and being sure that you have enough tooling to accomplish the task. It's hard enough to make a profit in the precision sheet metal industry as it is. Why then dedicate your universal press brake tooling to a box on a storage rack? Wouldn't you rather have a skilled craftsman producing a product with it? It's a good question, with a simple answer. More than one well-established manufacturer has ended up defeated, boxed up, and shelved themselves, in part because of misapplication of universal tooling. Dedicating tooling in your press brake operation doesn't mean you're emancipating your forming department or your budget.